Is there a particular example you want to look at related to this? I know you mentioned something about a game from Test 61. We could definitely
Um,
take a look at that a little bit just to see what was going on with that rule.
okay. Oh, was that the one with the unless? I don't have it pull up, but I can pull it up. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. No worries. Let's see. It was the first game you mentioned. Well, the first game, I don't particularly see an unless there.
And with this game, it was just very confusing. I couldn't understand it at all to even get the basic diagram down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game that you're talking about. And on my note sheet, I had like the one up top was like how I started it, but then I saw that that was incorrect. So I started doing the one at the bottom because I noticed in the answers, that's what it was doing. So, but I really couldn't grasp the whole concept at all.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is definitely a pretty tough game. And so I think that as you were correct in saying that, well, I'm not really sure how to diagram it. My intuition's not really getting me anywhere. But then I can look at the orientation question, the first question of the game, and see how LSAT does it. And that can definitely be a good guide to how you might do it. And of course, your diagram won't perfectly represent what they're doing, but it can still give you some indication of where you might want to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you ultimately kind of figured that one out for yourself. But one thing I can say just about the initial paragraph, and this is, of course, Test 61, Section 3, Game 1 for those following along. We've got 6 workers and 2 cars, car 1 and car 2, and we're dividing the workers between the 2 cars. And so I would categorize this as a grouping game, in particular grouping splitting, because we're splitting the 6 variables between these 2 cars. And so LSAC laid it out, row 1, row 2, listing the workers in each car. I might draw it as a T chart with 2 columns, car 1 on the left, car 2 on the right, and then listing the people below. And this game is a lot about which people will be together or which will not be together. And so it's a lot of restrictions and blocks of people going together or not.
But I still really don't see how I came up with that graph, even though the LSAT gave it to me. Like, just thinking about it, I wouldn't have came up with that at all.
Well, it takes time, and it takes gaining a lot of familiarity and doing a lot of games.